The pregnancy test slipped from Lena's trembling fingers, clattering against the bathroom tiles. 5 months. She was 5 months pregnant, and Ethan was gone. Her phone buzzed against the sink, Tara's name flashing across the screen for the 3rd time that morning. Lena stared at her reflection in the mirror, touching her rounded belly beneath the oversized sweater. Lagos felt like another lifetime ago, and Busan, this sprawling South Korean city she'd called home for 4 years, suddenly felt impossibly cold. She grabbed her phone, fingers moving on autopilot as she opened her messages. The photo she'd just taken, her hand resting on her stomach, needed to go to Ethan. He deserved to know, even if he'd made it clear 5 months ago that he wanted nothing to do with responsibility. Her thumb hovered over his contact, pressed send, and she immediately regretted it. But the message was already delivered, the blue checkmark mocking her vulnerability. Except she'd sent it to the wrong person. The name at the top of the chat made her stomach drop. Hae Jun Park, the CEO whose company logo she'd been designing for last week. The man whose reputation preceded him like a storm, ruthless and untouchable. She'd only met him once, briefly, when delivering her portfolio. He'd barely looked at her. No, no, no. Lena's voice cracked as she tried to unsend the message, but it was too late. 3 dots appeared almost immediately. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Who is this? The message was curt, professional. Before Lena could respond, another message followed. Are you safe? She blinked at the screen. Safe? What kind of question was that from a stranger, from a CEO who probably had assistants to handle his dry cleaning, let alone random messages from desperate freelancers? I'm sorry, she typed quickly. Wrong number, please delete that photo. The 3 dots appeared again, lingered, then disappeared. Lena exhaled, pressing her forehead against the cool bathroom mirror. Another mistake in a series of mistakes that had become her life in Busan. The boutique where she worked mornings barely paid enough for rent. Her freelance illustration gigs were inconsistent. And now, a baby. A baby she already loved fiercely but had no idea how to provide for. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her swipe to accept. Miss Adami. The voice was deep, controlled, with perfect English beneath the Korean accent. My name is Hae Jun Park. You sent me a photograph. I'm sorry, Mr. Park. It was an accident. Are you alone? The question cut through her explanation. Lena's grip tightened on the phone. That's none of your business. The father, is he present? Anger flared in her chest, hot and defensive. I don't need to explain my situation to you. Please just delete the photo and forget this happened. Silence stretched between them. Lena could hear her own breathing, ragged and uneven. Bring her to me. What? You and the child. Bring her to me. Lena's laugh was bitter. I'm not some charity case, Mr. Park. I don't need rescuing by some stranger who thinks throwing money at problems makes them disappear. I'm handling this. Are you? His voice softened just barely. Miss Adami, I'm not offering charity, I'm offering help. There's a difference. Why? The word came out broken. Why would you possibly care about some random woman's mistake? Another pause. When he spoke again, something in his tone had shifted, become almost vulnerable. Because I know what it's like to fail someone, and I won't do it again. Before Lena could respond, he continued. A car will arrive at your address tomorrow morning at 9. The choice is yours. The line went dead. Lena stood in her tiny bathroom, staring at her phone, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Outside, Busan hummed with life, street vendors calling out their wares, buses hissing to stops, the distant sound of the ocean. But inside her apartment, silence pressed down like a physical weight. Her phone buzzed again. Tara. Lena, please pick up. I'm worried about you. She answered, I'm here, Tara. Thank God. Her sister's voice cracked with relief. You sound terrible. Are you eating? Are you sleeping? I talked to Mama and she said you can come home. We'll figure this out together. I can't come home. Lena moved to her living room, sinking onto the worn couch. Not yet. I have work, I have clients. I can't just give up everything I've built here. Built? Lena, you're working yourself to death for people who don't appreciate you. You're pregnant and alone in a foreign country. That's not building, that's surviving. Surviving is enough right now. It shouldn't be. Tyra's frustration was palpable. You deserve more than enough. You deserve support, love, stability. Things that Ethan promised and never delivered. At the mention of his name, Lena's jaw tightened. Ethan Kim, with his charming smile and empty promises. The man who'd swept her off her feet 4 years ago when she'd first arrived in Busan, young and hopeful. He'd promised her everything, a future, a partnership, love. Instead, the moment she'd told him about the pregnancy, he disappeared like smoke. I don't want to talk about Ethan. Fine, but promise me you'll take care of yourself. And the baby. I promise. After they hung up, Lena sat in the gathering darkness of her apartment, Hae Jun Park's words echoing in her mind. Bring her to me. What did that even mean? And why did part of her, the exhausted, terrified part, want to say yes? The next morning, a sleek black car idled outside her building at exactly 9 o'clock. Lena watched from her window, coffee cup trembling in her hands. She hadn't slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that message, heard that voice. Bring her to me. She wasn't going. She decided that at 3 in the morning. She didn't know this man, didn't owe him anything, and certainly didn't need another powerful man trying to control her life. But then her phone rang. The boutique. Mrs. Hand's voice was apologetic but firm. Lena, I'm sorry. We have to let you go. Business is slow, and we can't afford extra staff right now. Extra staff? I've been working here for 2 years. I know, and you've been wonderful, but these are difficult times. The line went dead. Lena stared at her phone, then at the black car still waiting outside. The universe had a cruel sense of timing. 20 minutes later, she was sliding into the backseat, her small bag clutched on her lap. The driver said nothing, simply pulled into traffic with practiced efficiency. They drove through downtown Busan, past the bustling markets and sleek office buildings, until they reached a residential area Lena had only seen in magazines. Sprawling estates hidden behind high walls and manicured gardens. The car stopped in front of a modern mansion, all glass and steel and carefully curated minimalism. The driver opened her door. Mr. Park is expecting you. Lena's legs felt unsteady as she walked toward the entrance. Before she could knock, the door opened. Hae Jun Park stood there, and for the first time she really looked at him. He was tall, dressed in a simple black sweater and slacks, his dark hair slightly disheveled as if he'd been running his hands through it. But it was his eyes that caught her, dark, intense, and carrying a sadness that mirrored her own. Miss Adami, thank you for coming. I didn't have much choice. Her voice came out sharper than intended. I lost my job this morning. Something flickered across his face. I heard, I'm sorry. Did you? She stopped, studying him. Did you have something to do with that? No. His answer was immediate, firm. I don't operate that way, but I can help you find something better. I don't want your help. Even as she said it, Lena knew it was a lie. She desperately needed help. I don't even know why I'm here. Because you're tired of doing this alone. Hae Jun stepped aside, gesturing for her to enter. Because sometimes accepting help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. His home was beautiful but impersonal, like a showroom rather than a space someone actually lived in. He led her to a sitting room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a garden. Tea was already prepared, steam rising from delicate cups. Sit, please. Lena perched on the edge of an expensive-looking chair. Mr. Park, I need you to explain what this is, what you want from me. He sat across from her, his posture rigid but his expression open. 5 years ago, my younger sister died. She was in trouble, pregnant, and scared. She reached out to me, but I was too busy building my empire to notice. By the time I realized how serious her situation was, it was too late. She died in childbirth, alone in a clinic that should never have been allowed to operate. The raw pain in his voice made Lena's throat tight. I'm sorry. I swore I would never let that happen again, that if I ever had the chance to help someone in a similar situation, I would. And then yesterday, I received your photo. He met her eyes. I'm not trying to save you, Miss Adami. I'm trying to keep a promise to someone I failed. So I'm your redemption project. No, he leaned forward, his intensity startling. You're a woman who deserves support, who deserves to bring her child into this world safely, with dignity and resources. If accepting my help also helps me sleep at night, is that so terrible? Lena wanted to argue, to maintain her pride and independence, but exhaustion won. What exactly are you offering? A safe place to stay, medical care, financial support until you're stable, connections in the fashion industry for your illustration work, and when the baby comes, childcare assistance so you can continue your career. He paused. I'm offering you a chance to thrive, not just survive. And what do you get in return? Peace. The word was simple, honest. Just peace. Before Lena could respond, her phone buzzed. Ethan. Her body went rigid. Lena, baby, I've been thinking. Maybe we were too hasty. Maybe we can work this out. Hae Jun's expression darkened as he clearly overheard. When Lena didn't respond to Ethan, he hung up. She stared at her phone, anger and hurt warring in her chest. The father. She nodded. Do you want to reconcile with him? No, the answer was immediate, certain. He left when I needed him most. I don't forgive that. Good. Hae Jun's voice was cold. Men who abandon their responsibilities don't deserve second chances. Over the next 2 weeks, Lena found herself settling into a strange new routine. Hae Jun had insisted she stay in his guest house, a smaller but still luxurious building on his property. He'd arranged for her to see the best obstetrician in Busan, had connected her with 3 major fashion companies interested in her work, and had somehow managed to do all of this without making her feel like a charity case. But she rarely saw him. He left early for work and returned late, their interactions limited to brief text messages checking on her well-being. It was simultaneously frustrating and a relief. Until the night, she found him sitting in his garden at 2 in the morning. Can't sleep, she asked, wrapping her cardigan tighter against the autumn chill. He looked up, surprised. I could ask you the same thing. The baby likes to kick at night. Lena sat on the bench beside him, maintaining a respectful distance. What's your excuse? Memories, he gestured to the garden. My sister loved this space. She'd spend hours here, reading, drawing. I keep it exactly as she left it. That must be painful. It is, but forgetting her would be worse. He turned to her. You remind me of her sometimes, your strength, your stubbornness. I'm not strong, Lena said quietly. I'm terrified every single day. Strength and fear aren't mutually exclusive. Hae Jun's voice softened. Being strong doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you keep moving forward despite the fear. They sat in comfortable silence, the garden peaceful around them. Lena found herself relaxing for the first time in months, the constant tension in her shoulders finally easing. Why are you really doing this? She asked. And don't say it's just about your sister, there's something else. Hae Jun was quiet for a long moment. Because when I look at you, I see someone worth fighting for, and I haven't felt that way about anything except business in years. His honesty stole her breath. Before she could respond, her phone rang. Ethan. Again. He'd been calling constantly, leaving messages that swung between apologetic and manipulative. Hae Jun's jaw tightened. Let me handle him. No, this is my problem. Then let me stand with you while you handle it. The next day, Ethan showed up at the boutique where Lena had been consulting on a new collection. He looked the same, handsome, charming, with that smile that had once made her heart race. Lena, he approached with open arms. I've missed you. We need to talk about the baby, about us. There is no us, she stepped back. You made that clear 5 months ago. I was scared. I made a mistake. His eyes were pleading. But I'm here now. Let me make this right. Before Lena could respond, Hae Jun appeared. She hadn't even known he was there, but suddenly he was standing between them, his presence commanding and unmistakably protective. She asked you to leave. Ethan's expression shifted, recognition and fear flickering across his face. Mr. Park, I didn't realize you were involved. I'm very involved. Hae Jun's voice was dangerously quiet. And if you contact Miss Adami again, if you harass her, manipulate her, or cause her any distress, you will discover exactly how ruthless I can be. Do you understand?" Ethan nodded, backing away. After he left, Lena turned to Hae Jun. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did." His eyes met hers. "Because you matter, your well-being matters, and I'm tired of watching people I care about suffer." "You care about me." The vulnerability in his expression was answer enough. But their fragile peace shattered when Hae Jun's father summoned him to the family estate. Lena insisted on coming, sensing the confrontation would be about her. Mr. Park was everything she'd expected, imposing, traditional, and clearly displeased. His younger son, Jin Ho, stood beside him, arms crossed and expression skeptical. "This is unacceptable. Hae Jun," Mr. Park's voice echoed through the formal sitting room. "You're risking everything our family has built for some foreign woman with questionable circumstances." "Watch your words, father." "She's using you," Jin Ho interjected. "Can't you see that? She accidentally sends you a photo, and suddenly you're playing savior. It's manipulation." Lena stood, her voice steady despite her shaking hands. "I never asked for Mr. Park's help. In fact, I repeatedly told him I didn't want it. Your brother made his own choices." "Choices that will damage our reputation," Mr. Park said coldly. "End this arrangement. Give her money if you must, but remove her from your life." "No," Hae Jun's word was absolute. "Lena stays." "Then you're a fool." "Perhaps, but I'd rather be a fool who does the right thing than a success who lives without honor." The argument escalated, voices rising, until Lena felt her chest tighten, her vision blur. The stress, the confrontation, the weight of everything crashed down on her. She gripped the armrest, trying to breathe. "Lena," Hae Jun was at her side immediately. "What's wrong?" "I can't. I need to leave. I need to go home." The words tumbled out. "I'm causing you so much trouble. Your family's right. I should just go back to Nigeria, have the baby there, start over." "You're not going anywhere." But she was already moving toward the door, her decision made. She couldn't do this anymore. Couldn't be the source of his family's conflict, couldn't watch him sacrifice his relationships for her. 2 days later, Lena sat in Gimhae International Airport, her small suitcase beside her, boarding pass clutched in trembling fingers. Tara had wired money for the ticket. In 12 hours, she'd be home in Lagos, where everything was familiar and safe. Final boarding call for flight KE9, 7 to Lagos via Frankfurt. Lena stood, picking up her bag. As she walked toward the gate, a sharp pain shot through her abdomen. She gasped, doubling over. No, not now, it was too early. She had 10 more weeks. Another contraction, stronger this time. The boarding pass slipped from her fingers as she collapsed to her knees. Around her, people shouted, airport staff rushed over, but all Lena could think was that she was alone. Again. Until she wasn't. "I've got you," Hae Jun's voice, urgent and terrified as strong arms lifted her. "Ambulance is on the way. Stay with me, Lena, stay with me." "How did you?" "Later. Right now, just breathe." The hospital was chaos. Nurses rushing, monitors beeping, doctors speaking in rapid Korean that Lena couldn't follow through the haze of pain. But Hae Jun never left her side, his hand gripping hers, his voice a steady anchor in the storm. "You're going to be fine. The baby's going to be fine." "Too early," she gasped. "She's too early." "She's strong, like her mother." Hours blurred together, pain, fear, exhaustion. And then, finally, a cry, small but fierce. A nurse placed a tiny, perfect baby girl on Lena's chest, and the world stopped. "She's beautiful," Lena whispered, tears streaming down her face. "She's perfect." Hae Jun stood beside the bed, looking at the baby with an expression of such tenderness it made Lena's heart ache. "What will you name her?" "Sarah," the name came to her instinctively. "It means sky in Korean, right? And in Yoruba it can mean wealth. She's our bridge between worlds." "Sarah," he repeated softly. "It's perfect." When the nurse took the baby for examination, Hae Jun finally sat down, running shaking hands through his hair. You terrified me when I got the alert from the airport security that you'd collapsed. You were tracking me. I was protecting you." His eyes met hers. "And I need to say something. I need you to understand that this isn't about redemption anymore. It isn't about my sister or guilt or trying to fix the past." "Then what is it about?" "You." He moved closer, taking her hand carefully, reverently. "It's about you, Lena. Your strength, your grace, the way you face every challenge with dignity even when you're terrified. It's about how you make me want to be better, do better. It's about how, somewhere along the way, I fell in love with you." Lena's breath caught. "Hae Jun, I love you, not my redemption, not my second chance. You. And I know the timing is terrible, and I know you might not feel the same way, but I needed you to know." She looked at him, this powerful man who'd shown her such gentleness, who'd stood beside her when everyone else walked away. "I was scared," she admitted. "I was scared of needing you, of letting someone in again after Ethan. But sitting in that airport, about to leave, all I could think was that I was running away from the one person who'd ever truly seen me. And now I'm choosing to stay. I'm choosing you. I'm choosing us." His kiss was soft, careful, full of promise. When Hae Jun's family arrived at the hospital the next morning, the confrontation Lena expected didn't come. Instead, Mr. Park stood at the nursery window, looking at his granddaughter, because that's what Sora was now, whether he liked it or not. "She's small. She's a fighter," Hae Jun said, standing beside his father. "Like her mother. This will complicate things. The business, our reputation, the board." "I don't care." Hae Jun's voice was firm. "This is my family now. This is my daughter. And if that means stepping away from Daejin Group, I'll do it." Mr. Park was silent for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he sighed. "Your sister would have liked her, the baby. She always wanted to be an aunt." "Yes, she would have. I won't pretend to understand this choice. But you're my son, and that," he gestured to Sora, "is my granddaughter. We'll figure it out." It wasn't acceptance, not fully. But it was a beginning. 6 months later, Lena's illustration studio occupied a sunny corner of their new home, a compromise between Hae Jun's minimalism and Lena's vibrant aesthetic. Sora gurgled happily in her playpen, watching as her mother sketched designs for Seoul Fashion Week. "How's the collection coming?" Hae Jun asked, appearing in the doorway with coffee. "Almost done, though your daughter keeps demanding attention." "Our daughter." He kissed Lena's temple, then scooped up Sora, who squealed with delight. "And she gets that from her mother." "I do not demand attention." "You demanded mine from the moment you accidentally sent that photo." Lena laughed, setting down her pencil. "Best mistake I ever made." "Second best." "What's the first?" "Choosing to come here, to Busan, to Korea, every choice that led you to me." In the evening, they walked through Hyundai Beach, Sora bundled against Lena's chest in a carrier, her tiny hand wrapped around her mother's finger. The sunset painted the sky in shades of gold and pink, and tourists and locals alike filled the boardwalk with life and laughter. "Do you ever regret it?" Hae Jun asked. "Leaving Lagos everything you knew." "Every adventure requires leaving something behind." Lena leaned against him. "But I wouldn't change a thing. This, us, it's worth every sacrifice. Even dealing with my family." "Even that. Your father's warming up. He only frowns at me now instead of glaring." "Progress." They stopped at a quieter section of the beach, watching the waves roll in. Sora made a soft sound, her dark eyes, so like her mother's, tracking the seagulls overhead. "I'm writing a children's book," Lena said suddenly. "About a girl who weaves threads from different colors, different cultures, and creates something beautiful." "Sounds familiar." "It's our story. Yours, mine, Sora's. About how sometimes the most beautiful things come from unexpected places, from mistakes that turn into miracles." Hae Jun pulled her closer. "What are you going to call it?" "Threads of Fate." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the sand, they stood together, a Nigerian woman, a Korean businessman, and their daughter who carried both worlds in her tiny body. Their journey had been unexpected, painful at times, beautiful always, and it was far from over. But standing there, with the ocean stretching endlessly before them and the future full of possibility, Lena knew one thing with absolute certainty. She was exactly where she was supposed to be. Home. If this story touched your heart, resonated with your own journey, or made you believe in unexpected second chances, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more stories of love, resilience, and hope across cultures. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What part of Lena and Hae Jun's journey moved you most? And stay tuned, because every week we bring you new stories that remind us that sometimes the threads of fate weave the most beautiful tapestries from the most unexpected beginnings.